All right, welcome to another film breakdown. Duke beats UNC at UNC, a really good game. UNC was down 15, cut it to 1, going into halftime, have all of that sequence clipped up. UNC was up 6 or 7 in the second half. Duke ended up winning by double digits. I obviously have all that clipped up. If you're a Duke fan, grab your popcorn. If you're a UNC fan, grab your alcohol. And most importantly, check out the new videos on my channel with the conference tournament breakdowns for all the major conferences with my buddy Christian. He does a fantastic job of breaking down every matchup. He knows every college basketball roster better than anybody. He's almost like Rain Man when it comes to college basketball knowledge. Fantastic stuff. So check that out on the channel. But this is going to be a doozy. This is going to be a long film breakdown, but I'm happy to break this stuff down because a lot happened in this game. A lot happened, and we're going to start with the first possession of the game for Duke.
Davis just knocked the ball away, really fought James. Knipple with 3 on the shot clock. Gets a tough shot off in.
Knipple's just so tough, man. He is so physical. Like, he gets bumped off his line here. The alternate angle view of this where Drake Powell just shoves him right there and makes Knipple go completely away from the basket to still square his shoulders over a contest and drop that in the bucket. Dude is so underrated. He's so underrated. And 2-0 Duke, but Drake Powell was UNC's player of the first half. Just immediate impact, immediate energy, and the Dean Dome fed off of whatever he was giving them.
Yeah, whatever happened in the second half really didn't matter. Godot draws a crowd. The kick to Drake Powell. And the freshman knocks down a 3. Get all the way to the national championship game. Every year has been a completely different story for this Tar Heel program.
Yeah, last season ACC champions. Good steal by Drake Powell.
Like, this guy did not play much in the first half in the first matchup, and the game was over in the first 5 minutes thanks to Cooper Flagg in Cameron. Now he's starting the second matchup against Duke and clearly is the reason why UNC started off with such a hot and physical start. Like, I know they were down 15, but then they cut it to 1 going in the second half. The reason Cooper Flagg was in foul trouble was because Drake Powell forced turnover against Knipple, felt like he was poking the ball away very consistently, like Malik Brown does for Duke in the first half. And yeah, he's just UNC's Energizer Bunny. Not really sure why he didn't play much in the first half in the first matchup, but clearly a difference maker early in this game.
And with attack mode, it's a hit-first mentality.
Trimble misses the 3. And the rebound to Sion James, a 4-year starter at Tulane. Came off the bench the first month or so, has turned into a starter and a very important part of this team. And he drives.
Sion James, dude. That video is going to come, by the way. I have it. I'm still working on it with Sion James being like the most underrated role player in the country, the best role player in the country. And I stand by that. I know now he's a starter. He's not really a role player, but you know what I mean by knowing his role. Like right here, speaking of role, when he's a short roller in a ball screen and he can catch and get downhill, it's his bread and butter. In Jackson, very quick guy, really good offensively, struggles on the defensive end, and here just gets blown by a little bit to where now Sion James can square his shoulders, and it's a bull in a china shop where you're just letting this physical guy draw an and one and just talk about the left-hand finish by Sion James. He's just so good at his role and what he brings to Duke. He's fantastic.
Back in the non-conference to Kentucky and Kansas. Knipple gets rid of it quickly and knocks down a.
And here, again, Sion James. UNC is switching guard-to-guard screens. So what happens right here? He throws it to Malik Brown. He's setting a down screen for Knipple. Well, RJ Davis and Seth Trimble are switching this down screen action. So what does that mean? That means Sion James should screen his own guy. And what do I mean by screen his own guy? I mean just stay in front of RJ Davis and stand there. That's what he does. He just stands in front of RJ Davis as Knipple lifts just a little bit to create more separation from Seth Trimble. And now he has an open look because that's supposed to be RJ Davis out there because it's a guard-to-guard switch on a down screen. But Sion James didn't go set a down screen on Seth Trimble. He set it on RJ Davis, and it leads to an open 3.
quickly and knocks down a three.
Well, you ratcheted up the pressure early on in this game.
Knipple again. And gets...
Again, UNC is trying to switch guard to guard here. So Seth Trimble does his job. In Jackson does not, and it leads to an open three. Malik Brown, we know what he can do, facilitating at the top of the key. Flare screen for Knipple. Duke kills teams on flare screens. But you know when it's guard-to-guard switches because look how Seth Trimble grabs and guards Isaiah Evans. That's how you know your switch. That is the textbook way to switch, is to get that guy, don't let him go anywhere. And in Jackson still playing drop coverage to where Knipple is running free on the three-point line. Seth Trimble is not going to let Isaiah Evans come up and get the handoff from Malik Brown like we've seen him do in recent games for Duke. But it doesn't matter because in Jackson's not playing the right defensive coverage, gives up an open three, and I think Knipple just hit back-to-back threes.
Knipple and the Blue Devils are back up by 5.
Boy, one step late by Ian Jackson and just gives up that open three. Again, shooting it from the catch spot. You would have to force him to dribble it.
Knipple already with 8. Boy, Davis wanted the step back three, regathers. Powell takes a bump. Trimble can't get it off from the corner, and it's 6 on the shot clock. Turnaround.
Fantastic team defense. Fantastic team defense. Knipple is, like I said, he's too underrated. He does not get talked about enough. When you talk about Duke, it just feels like we don't talk about Knipple enough. And maybe it's just the fan base. Maybe nationally it's different. But to me, I feel like he doesn't get his flowers that he should because he's such a well-rounded player. He's a really underrated on-ball defender, and he's really good off-ball. Those clips are going to come up later in the second half. But R.J. Davis had a vintage first half when it comes to R.J. Davis hitting tough ones on one-on-ones. Here, he's trying to size up Knipple. Knipple is just with him the whole way. Loses the ball. Now he's trying to get downhill. Knipple bumps him off his line to where he can't pull that. So now they kick it to Drake Powell. Drake Powell gets by Cooper Flagg here, but Malik Brown turns into an absolute stonewall. Just boom. Knocks him completely off his line. He has to pick up his dribble, pass to Seth Trimble, and then a really good one-on-one defense possession by Isaiah Evans right here against Seth Trimble. Just two. Seth Trimble's athletic, but Isaiah stays with him foot for foot, hand in the face, fadeaway jumper, low percentage shot. Great defense possession.
For the heel by Malik Brown there to stop that initial drive. A foul.
Again, Drake Powell, instant impact for this team, and that is an offensive foul. Like, that is legal guarding position. Arm bar is perfectly fine. It's legal, but then that's just not legal for Cooper Flagg to extend. And vet move by Drake Powell right there to kind of hook it. Like, Cooper Flagg's arms like this, Drake Powell goes like that to really sell the call, and that's great play. That's great high IQ play, and now you gave Cooper Flagg his second foul in the first half with 12:53 to go.
On Cooper Flagg, and that'll be number 2 on him.
Some of the weak side help.
Jackson on the drive,
and this right here is what UNC was killing Duke on. Was Malawash switching 1 through 5, being up top, and then you have an athlete like Ian Jackson who's going to blow by Malawash. Malawash's feet probably need to be below the three-point line. His arms are perfectly fine to where if Ian Jackson shot a three and his feet are behind the three-point line, I still like the contest, but he's just too high up. And you're going to attack his off foot, his bottom foot, get downhill, and then Isaiah Evans just kind of he shows his cards too early here of trying to take a charge. And he needs to probably just jump and wall him like Duke's guards have done throughout the year. But he's trying to set a charge here, but Ian Jackson can see it coming a mile away to where he can torque his body, avoid the charge. That would have still been a block because Isaiah's feet are in the cylinder, and it's 2 points for Ian Jackson and UNC.
The shot block, and the way he's shooting it now, too. What a dangerous scorer he is in so many different.
And Tyrese Proctor, just off of a simple ball screen, just does a good job of this in and out dribble to make RJ Davis go a step to RJ's left, our right, and now he has the room he needs to shoot the three. Just a simple in out dribble, get to the spot, bang.
As Proctor had a great first game against Carolina back at Cameron, 22 points and 5 assists. Jackson will put it up and hits.
That's what Ian Jackson can do. That's what R.J. Davis did too. That's just better offense beating good defense. I mean, Proctor's in him, and it's a sidestep three. Hand is up. That's just a tough shot. It's a great shot by Ian Jackson.
Just last week against Florida State, it looked like it might be serious, but he came back quickly and looks totally like himself.
His first game back against Wake Forest, he had 12 and looked pretty good. Just had to knock the rust off.
Pulls up for the jumper.
And Duke was just killing Ian Jackson defensively. Like what he gives UNC offensively is elite stuff, and they needed him down the stretch when Duke pulled away. But when he sits the bench, it's because of his defense. And here he just gets clipped by this ball screen. He needs to be attached with Proctor to go over. He doesn't. Proctor now steps into a second three and bang.
And hits. It has been
finished. That was very nice by Jalen Washington.
James using the screen. Kicks it to Proctor.
Good recovery by Ian Jackson, but he can't give up middle.
And Proctor.
Like Jay Bill said, just cannot give up middle. But Proctor, my God, little shimmy shake with the shoulders. Shimmy shake with the shoulders. Just completely blow by Ian Jackson. Tough finish. I love seeing the stretches when Proctor has like 2 or 3 straight possessions where it's 3-3 layup, just like he did in this sequence. Just fantastic stuff in the first half by Tyrese Proctor.
A little split action off getting it to Malowacz up top.
Proctor, what a move. Can't finish it.
And Proctor gets fouled, and it was a foul. He got hit on the wrist. And again, this is what I like about Duke. This is what I love about Shire. Proctor is having these possessions where he's cooking. He's hit 2 threes. He just took Ian Jackson to the rim off the bounce. Now he's got Ian Jackson again one-on-one. And Tyrese Proctor's bread and butter is that little mid-range around the AC logo. And he creates the separation off that fake spin, that half spin, and just bam, hand on the wrist, going to the line for 2. Just Tyrese Proctor, man, he has stretches where he's an all-ACC guy. Like, it's so fun to watch him take his game to a next level in a sequence like this.
Wanted a foul call, and it looks like he withers into the paint. Tough shot. And the rebound for Isaiah Evans.
And there have been few offensive rebounds for North Carolina to start this game. Duke's got all 5 guys giving the defensive glass.
This is what makes Isaiah so deadly. So deadly. He had an okay first half. He had a turnover he threw to Hubert Davis. And there's another sequence, I think it's coming later, when he shoots a layup. But here, this is why you have to find him in transition. Malik Brown's already saying, hey, throw to Isaiah. I'm going to set him a screen. And here he goes. Malik Brown's head hunting for Cadeau, finds Cadeau. Cadeau's going under a screen against a shooter, so he knows he has to really recover since he went under the screen. But you give Isaiah any room to where he can let it fly. He's going to shoot it, as we know. And then body to body, you got to let him land. Doesn't, 3-pointer. Going to the line for 3.
Comes in. He is in there. Who start and are in the game right now for Carolina. Flagg the pull-up. No. And Withers comes down for the rebound.
A nice job by Drake Powell of switching out to challenge that shot.
Withers goes by. Malowacz scoops it up.
So this is a sequence where, in a weird way, I would have probably kept Cooper Flagg on the bench, maybe till like the 2-minute mark or something in the first half. It just felt like putting him in the game. Duke tried to get him going offensively, which this is a great contest by Drake Powell. I mean, he almost gets that. And UNC goes the other way with Jalen Withers, who I really like. I think Jalen Withers has a chance to be a pro, just what he brings to the table. I call him Nas Reed Jr. with him being 6'9" and this comfortable dribbling in traffic. I mean, blow by Malowacz, who I said struggled defensively on the perimeter. And then Cooper Flagg's not trying to foul here because he has 2. But with him kind of playing like that, it's kind of like Olay, help side defense. Jalen Withers, nice jelly, nice English to make it 39-30. And this is how UNC gets back in the game.
Tipped that ball in, thought he got fouled.
Tipped out. Here comes Trimble. Going at Flagg. And the follow by Lewis.
Again, Flagg's not trying to pick up his 3rd foul, so it's just kind of Olay defense. But here's when I said Isaiah played, an okay first half. this is this part of the game he still needs to work on, is his finishing, scoring off the dribble. Picks up his dribble too early. To where he's shooting a very tough contest, and he just picks it up right there. Like, that's his last dribble, and he's outside the AC logo. So now he's fading away from the rim, contested, hits off the side of the backboard. And against UNC, a bad shot's a turnover. And that is essentially what happened here as UNC goes down and scores. And Cooper Flagg is now trying to pick up his third foul. And so now UNC could have been 43-30. Instead, bad shot turns into a layup for UNC. It's now 41-32.
A pretty good look for Drake Powell, who's shooting 40% on the season from three-point range.
Boy, this is an important last 3.5 minutes for North Carolina. Can they cut into this lead, or can Duke extend it?
Flagg the drive.
And that's just a great play by Withers. As clear as day, a charge. Charge isn't really in the game much anymore, but here is the most obvious charge of the season is Withers is just waiting. Cooper Flagg, third foul. And just the last couple of defense possessions, because Flagg didn't want to pick up his third, and the way UNC kind of had momentum off of that, you could feel the energy kind of shift in the building, and now Cooper Flagg's out with 3.
Heading into this game tonight. Into Lubin, got his man in the air, hits, and is fouled.
I'm telling you, I really like Withers, dude. I don't know what his future looks like as a pro, but I would take him. I would take a flyer on him in the second round. I mean, again, this is a pocket pass. That is beautiful. That's a great look. Finds the big man. The only spot the big man could have called it, finds him. And Sion James was anticipating Lubin to go up right away. The little hesitation got him in the air. 3-point play.
And now they can put Duke on their heels a little bit defensively.
Jackson back into the game, into the corner to Withers. And a good decision to reset.
Carolina stopped turning the ball over.
Davis.
Vintage RJ Davis. That is tough as hell. You cannot guard that. Mason Gillis plays fantastic defense. He's fine. He still gets his hand up, and he lets him land. Like, RJ Davis trying to sell a 4-point play here, but that's good defense. It's good defense by Mason Gillis. RJ Davis, that's his type of shot. He loves those fadeaway threes.
Dean, it's down to 3. And a steal by Withers. The heels are running again. Davis again.
You could feel that coming a mile away when Cooper Flagg picked up his third foul. You could just feel it. You could just feel it in the air. I'm trying to go back here. Sion, he probably should have waited just a half a step to throw this lob. He throws it just a little too early, and you got to know who you're throwing to, because sometimes Malawash doesn't have the best hands. Sometimes it's an understatement. But here it's just too early. Probably take one more dribble and let Malawash get a foot closer to the restricted area. Throws the lob. Malawash isn't ready for it. Like I said, he catches it. Not really good balance when he lands, so he throws it away, and UNC goes the other way, and you just hear the Dean Dome rock.
Davis again! He's set now with Davis. Got Gillis on him. Lots of time on the shot clock. Davis the drive, the pull-up, hits again.
It's good defense by Mason Gillis again. But again, RJ Davis is in rhythm to where he's comfortable hitting these tough fadeaways. And here, Duke has continued to struggle into half and even into game situations. That's the one worry for me going into March Madness is Synergy doesn't play this whole clip. So I have to explain what I see right here. Like, look at John Shire. Shire is standing up, and he's going to have both hands up like, whoa, 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 to Mason Gillis. He didn't want Mason Gillis to grab the ball right away because the officials were going to start counting since he grabbed it. He wanted him to take his time grabbing the ball and then roll it to Sion James. So you look at the play clock with the shot. You look at the game clock and the shot clock. It's at 39.7 and 30. He wants it to get as close to 30 on the game clock to 30 on the shot clock to where Duke can hold for the last shot. Instead, Mason Gillis grabs the ball, and it cuts away because of Synergy. But he grabs the ball and throws it to Sion James's chest, so Sion James can't even let it roll. And so now Duke has the ball with a 6-second difference on the game clock, shot clock. So there's 17 seconds on the game clock, 11 on the shot clock. And Sion James is going to rush this shot here where he's going to get downhill, but now he's going to shoot a floater against a double team, low percentage with 6 seconds on the shot clock. He's going to miss this, and Malawac's going to miss the tip in. And here goes RJ Davis. Now UNC has the ball as Synergy again cuts away, but UNC's going to have the ball with 7.5 seconds left to get the last shot up. John Shire wanted Duke to have the last shot. John Shire wanted to waste those 7 seconds after the RJ Davis made basket. So with Sion James missing that runner and Malawach missing the tip in, the clock would have expired. It doesn't. So now UNC gets a chance with the hottest guy in the first half having the ball in his hands. And thankfully for Duke, RJ Davis misses this shot. But this is exactly why John Shire did not want Mason Gillis to grab the ball right away going into that final possession and also rolling it to Sion James to start the offense possession. Instead, this almost backfired on Duke big time going in the second half.
As with Cooper Flagg with those 3 fouls, North Carolina, they don't want to get out of character, but you want to put him in some screening action, get a switch, and then go after him.
Nearly a turnover on the first possession. Proctor. Boy, used.
Really good job by Proctor. Drake Powell poked it away to start the possession. It just looks like, it was going to be another impact play by Drake Powell. And Proctor does a really good job of setting up the screen to have the perfect angle for him to get by Drake Powell. Malawach gets Drake Powell. And now Tyrese Proctor has Drake Powell on his hip. Has him on his hip. Nice floater around the rim. Fantastic stuff.
Elliot Cadeau had a couple turnovers early. Carolina only 3 turnovers in the first half, all of them in the first 3 minutes.
Davis. Wow, again.
I mean, that's fantastic defense by Tyrese Proctor. He has RJ Davis in hell here. RJ Davis cannot go anywhere. He looks like he's in quicksand. Tyrese Proctor has RJ Davis in hell. But that little separation and that millisecond of looking at the rim is enough for RJ Davis to hit this shot. That is great defense by Tyrese Proctor. But they always say better offense beats good defense. And here you see it. I mean, that's just great defense. Hits the bottom of the net, too.
What? Carolina with the switch. Van Allen Lubin now on Proctor.
And RJ Davis on Flagg. It's stolen away. Withers wide open. And Carolina.
Again, Malawach struggled defensively. He is pointing that there goes Withers, but Malawach is just ball watching because RJ Davis has been a threat, especially in the last 5 minutes game time. And so he's just looking at RJ Davis and loses Withers. You see he looks to his right, but can't find Withers, and now he's wide open. Malawach is underneath the rim, open look. UNC leads by 3.
Cooper Flagg is so skilled and athletic. Move to that left hand. He's just a big-time player.
And as Duke fans well know, he's been an extraordinary second-half player in games this year.
A tough shot by Drake Powell there, too. And the one thing looking back on about this game was UNC hit tough ones when they needed to with the lead, to give them the lead, to get back in the game and stuff. But Wilder always finds its level. You're not going to hit those tough looks all the time. And RJ Davis hit the tough one against Tyrese Proctor, nothing but the net. And then Drake Powell just hit that one. But then you see later in the second half, they start missing those type of shots because they could not get better looks than those.
A tough turnaround blocking with Sion James in the corner, forcing him to the other side.
Got to have stronger hands than that.
Tipped away by Cadeau. Davis, another one.
Again, a tough shot. RJ Davis hits the bottom of the net, but Malawach has to have stronger hands. Like, defensive teams are going to take notes, teams' defense are going to take notes on the physicality UNC got away with against Duke and dare the officiating to blow the whistle, call hand checks. I personally liked how this game was officiated in the second half. I think both teams had at most 5 team fouls. I like that type of basketball, really test both teams on the floor. And here, though, Malawach I mean, there's no foul here, but my point being is it's been a physical game. You got to know you have to be strong with the ball at all times. You cannot let your guard down. Shout out to L.A. Cadeau, active hands, leads to a steal and a bucket for UNC. But Malawach has to understand guards are going to guard him like that on the perimeter, just swipe by and see if his hands are strong enough.
Davis, another one. A two.
North Carolina has done a great job in this game of forcing turnovers. 11 Duke turnovers in this game, only 3 North Carolina turnovers.
And the Heels have not missed a shot in the second half. Flagg going to.
That's such a tough take by Cooper Flagg. Ghost screen action where Malawach is acting like he's going to set the screen on Jalen Withers, but he lays it to go the other side to get Victor Lubin to slide up. Victor Lubin is now out of position for help. Straight line drive. Tough lay by Cooper Flagg.
Work on Withers. And a lot of coaches around America have learned that this year. Lubin in and out, and Malawach rips it down.
And that's the first shot by either team missed in the second half.
Knipple to Malawach.
I think that's where it comes from.
Got it back, kicks it out.
Yeah. So, a lot to dissect here. But first, like I said, early in the breakdown, Connor Knipple so good defensively, on ball and off ball. Here, just a big man is going straight downhill like a freight train, and you wall him up. That's great freaking vertical defense. Verticality is fantastic, forces the miss. And now you're pushing. Malawach, you got to be strong with the ball. And I'll also give Malawach some benefit of the doubt that Knipple has to wait until Malawach's feet are at the AC logo to throw this pass, because you don't want a big man to catch it that far out and then have to dribble going into traffic, especially with a guy as raw as Malawach. So he catches this a little early to where now he is, off balance again, misses it. But you got to know who you're passing to as you are Knipple. You got to wait maybe one more full step before you dump that to Malawach getting downhill. Regardless, you got to finish that if you're a 7-footer. Now you kick it out. Kind of a waste of the possession. And now it leads to Cooper Flagg shooting a tough fadeaway, and UNC gets a stop.
Excellent defense by Jalen Withers to stay in front, force the fadeaway.
Duke's won 7 in a row. Carolina 6 in a row. Oh, how about the English?
And UNC goes right at Common Malawach, and this is where John Shire starts putting Malik Brown in the game to counter that.
From Cadeau.
Well, he's operated so effectively in the last month out of that short roll.
So Malik Brown's in at the under 16 timeout. UNC's up 56-49. I think UNC scores 13 points the rest of the way with Malik Brown coming in the game in the second half.
Right into the chest of Cooper Flagg on the vertical contest.
Proctor at the
great curl, great tight curl by Tyrese Proctor coming out of the under 16. Down screen by Malik Brown. UNC is not going to switch post and guard. They're just going to switch guard to guard. So RJ Davis has to stay attached to Tyrese Proctor. Tyrese Proctor does a really good job of leaving no space between him and Malik Brown where RJ Davis can cut through. Keeps it tight. RJ Davis is behind him the whole way. That's his shot. Those little short post fadeaways are his looks. Good shot by Tyrese Proctor.
Case with one of the officials. The no call gives it back to Duke.
But that's the sort of defensive intensity that North Carolina has had and needs to maintain.
Knipple, nice look. James.
Similar result. Similar action. Similar result. But this down screen by Malik Brown is going towards the block and not on the wing like for Proctor. But same result in the fact that RJ Davis slips and falls, so Con Knipple can catch this and get downhill right away. And Sion James, high basketball IQ play. He's getting out of there, so Seth Trimble has to stop. Knipple, he can kick it to 3, or if Seth Trimble goes with Sion James to the corner, Knipple can go all the way to the rim. Seth Trimble stays, but Sion James realizes he can just stop from going to three-point line and go to the dunker spot, and that's exactly what he does. He stops his momentum, goes back to the ball at the dunker spot, and flushes this. Really good instincts by Sion James there to not go all the way to the corner, but to stop and be at the dunker spot, and Con Knipple finds him.
Boy, Carolina so much more physical in this game than they were earlier in the season, really impacting the ball.
Smaller lineup right now. Washington at the 5 and in effect Powell at the 4. Trimble. Whoa, Flagg got on.
Really good defense possession by Duke. RJ Davis had to take a breather. He's been in there the whole time. Time to take a breather. UNC can't get anything going here for the whole possession. Seth Trimble was playing ISO ball the whole time. It looks like Duke's in a zone almost with how good they are spacing the floor on help side. And they're just switching the guard-to-guard exchange with Cadeau and Seth Trimble. So Tyrese Proctor's guarding the guy, the ball handler, the whole time. I mean, look at that. The defensive spacing by Duke. Fantastic defensive spacing. Now Seth Trimble's trying to go one-on-one. It's not really his game. He's calling for a ball screen. Duke's going to switch this because it's guard-to-guard with Knipple and Proctor. But Seth Trimble rejects the ball screen, so Proctor stays in front of Seth Trimble. Trimble gets away with a little shove. But again, I like the no call. I like the physicality of the referees letting the boys play because now Tyrese Proctor can play physical. He gets into Seth Trimble, and here comes Cooper Flagg with the block. Like this is good basketball in terms of letting physicality just play in the game of basketball. There's no hand checks. There's no offensive foul right here. Could have been called. I like the no call. Let the boys play. Let physicality take over. Good block by Cooper Flagg.
In order to move the defense and then attack it.
Flagg. Not there, and Washington down with a one-handed rebound.
Flagg settled there against Cadeau.
Jackson will drive and finish.
Again, in Jackson, great offensive player for UNC when they need him. Did not like the shot selection by Cooper Flagg here. He settled against Cadeau. You're down 4. And against UNC, like I said, a bad shot is a turnover. That's a bad shot. The ball just stuck to him the whole time. UNC gets out and goes, finds their athlete in transition. Nice Euro by N. Jackson, 59-53. And now from this point in the game, UNC scores 10 points the rest of the way.
Powell guarding Flagg on this trip. Off to James. Muscles it up and in.
Again, Sion James is a short roller. Fantastic stuff. Letting a bull in a china shop get downhill. Nothing to it except for the fact that, hey, he can set a screen because he's big as hell. And now he's open because his guy is up on Cooper Flagg. Free roll to the rim. Oh, that's your big man. I'll just go right through his chest. Lay in.
A terrific pass.
The nipple switches on to Cadeau. Behind the back, the force, and it's off the side of the backboard.
That is not what Carolina wants.
It gets Duke out in transition.
Again, I loved the way the game was officiated in the second half specifically because Cadeau sometimes gets this call and it's bullshit. He has no purpose here. He's not trying to score the basketball here. He's trying to draw a foul. This is soft basketball where he just flails away from the rim as he's slapping Knipple in the face to try and go to the free throw line. Stands no chance in hell of getting that ball in the rim. He's looking for a bailout. Refs don't bail him out, and Duke makes him pay the price by Cooper Flagg dunking.
Gets Duke out in transit.
I appreciate referees swallowing their whistles at times like that.
No R.J. Davis. Been on the bench about the last 2.5 minutes. Powell a step back 3.
There's too many tough shots.
Flagg behind the back. And a block.
Again, Duke had UNC resulting into hero ball, ISO ball. At the start of the second half, this worked. R.J. Davis hit a couple tough ones. Drake Powell hit a tough fadeaway over Knipple. But here, it's just a low percentage shot. That is not a shot Drake Powell is accustomed to, shooting a step-back 3 against a guy like Tyrese Proctor. Duke makes him pay by going right back downhill. Cadeau is being lazy and just swipes at the ball at half court. Now you're letting Cooper Flagg go straight downhill. And I don't know how this has 1.5K likes on Twitter about this not being a charge. This is clear as a day of a block. You whiffed on the block attempt. Cooper Flagg avoids the block attempt or the charge attempt, and it is a block because now you're impeding Cooper Flagg's jump by your shoulder hitting his legs. That is a clear as day, a blocking foul. I don't understand how that's problematic and people wanting Cooper Flagg to have his 4th foul. That's a good call by the ref.
And a block is the call on set. Hey, they're not even going to the ACC tournament, so this will be the last time that Jay Lucas is on the Duke bench.
Yeah, people think it's about the March 24th opening of the transfer portal, but it's really about when seasons end. And Miami's season has ended. Duke's season's going to continue to go on. And it's important for Jay Lucas to learn what he has and what he can keep at Miami right now. What a pass.
Caleb Foster, when he checked in, I had to do a double take of is number one really coming in this game right now during a tie ball game. I was shocked as everybody was. But I tell you what, this dude came in and he guarded. Caleb Foster could tell you exactly what type of gum RJ Davis was chewing. RJ Davis cannot go anywhere with Caleb Foster guarding him. He is his shadow. Caleb Foster knows exactly what RJ Davis is doing. Look at that defense. He is just following him like the man in the mirror. He is all over RJ Davis, and now he's forcing a tight squeeze of a bounce pass. It gets through, but Duke does a good job of knocking away off of Lubin, and it goes Duke's way. But fantastic defense by Caleb Foster coming into the game.
And Duke now back looking for the lead. And Caleb Foster, Jay, into the game for the first time tonight for Duke. With back cut. Brown, a few.
Malik Brown, dude, as good of a passer as he is defender, and at this point a three-point shooter, but he has the feel of Duke's offense with the guards cutting to the rim. Seth Trimble is playing hard deny, so what does Knippel do? He back cuts because that's the read. Back cut, great pass, leads Knippel right to the rim. 2 points for Duke.
Full feed to Knippel, and Davis has been scorching hot recently. And turns it over again, so back-to-back possessions where the heels turn it over. Foster, got it.
Go right through his chest, Caleb Foster. Go right through his freaking chest. Good defense by Duke. Shocked they didn't call a kickball here. I thought live it was a kickball, and on the rewatch, it looks like it was a kickball. But also, before we get there, Malik Brown has RJ Davis in hell. Duke had RJ Davis in hell. I know he got some shots off in the first half and in the start of the second half, but he had to shoot tough ones. Duke made him work for his. And here, two guys on the ball. Sion James does a good job of letting Malik Brown take over to where now he can play the passing lane. And it looks like the ball hits his leg as he's trying to kick it. But the lack of reaction by UNC's bench, I was like, okay, maybe it wasn't a kickball. But right there, it looked like it was a kickball. Regardless, Caleb Foster, way to get downhill. Just goes straight downhill, make the guy guard you. At this point, go off of 2 feet, jump through the defender, jump through him. Caleb Foster does exactly that. Should have been an and one. Tough take.
The basket. Withers defended by Knippel. Withers goes right at him. Tipped away by Foster. And it's Duke ball.
Now Duke with an advantage. Withers behind the play.
James, Brown the trailer.
Again, dude, Knippel defense sets this whole thing up. Jalen Withers is trying to jump through Knippel like Caleb Foster just jumped through Lubin. But Knippel just does not let it happen. Great contest. Vertical as Jalen Withers is trying to draw the foul. That is not a foul. That is textbook wall defense. Contest the shot. Low percentage shot. Stay with it. Saved by Withers. You never want to save it to the other team. And now Duke's going in transition.
Advantage. Withers behind the play.
James. Brown the trailer. And it's a 12-0 run for Duke.
This game completely flipped when not only Malik Brown came in the game, but also Caleb Foster coming in the game and locking up RJ Davis.
Brown, a good passer. He's got 3 assists in this game. He's going to take a 3 and hit it.
I mean, oh, man. Swiper keeps swiping. Swiper keeps shooting. Jesus. He's looking for Sion James to come off for that curl, but spacing is not great to where he can't really throw that pass to Sion James. Maybe if he was more on the top of the key, as in Malik Brown being the top of the key, he could make that pass. He'd have a better angle, but he couldn't. And now, Duke's trying to get into something. Knippel, they take away his cut, so he'll step outside. Malik Brown stepping outside. Lubin's not that worried about it because he's only made, 3 threes on the year. Let that thing fly. Bottom of the net.
Malik Brown wide open, and he is not known as a scorer. Doesn't hit many threes.
Just his third made three-pointer this season, now in 10 attempts. He gambled. That left Davis open, and Duke catches it.
So Duke does catch a break here because Malik Brown tried to swipe. Swiper tried to swipe, but it didn't work out. But unbelievable help side defense by Cooper Flagg to contest this. This is, look how far away they are from each other when they're both coming into their jump. Cooper Flagg almost gets that. And RJ Davis knows, because look how bad RJ Davis misses the shot. I mean, that was a clink, all because Cooper Flagg stepped up to contest this, where it looked like it was going to be a clean look off the whiff steal attempt by Malik Brown. But heads up play by Cooper Flagg to contest that ball and almost block it. And UNC retained possession, but really good defense by Cooper Flagg.
Clean look. Good minutes for Brown in his return.
Boy, especially defensively. What a difference maker.
He goes to the bench. Malawach back in. Davis guarded by Foster.
And he's had success taking on Malawach at times. Good pass fake.
Withers has it blocked by.
Again, great defense by Duke as a team. Great block by Cooper Flagg. But again, I want to point out Mr. Caleb Foster. Look at Cadeau just trying to grab him and not let him go anywhere on this guard-to-guard, because they're supposed to switch this. Sion James and Caleb Foster are switching this. So Cadeau is trying to screen his own guy. Foster just gets through all that. And meets RJ Davis on the other side. Now they're going to try and set a ball screen for RJ Davis. See how Caleb Foster is jumping up to avoid Lubin here. RJ Davis is already picking up his dribble to pass Cadeau, but Caleb Foster's not letting that happen. He's not letting them go two-man game with him guarding RJ Davis. RJ Davis has to give it up to Cadeau. Now, Cooper Flagg, great help side defense, because Cadeau is going to try and look for this pocket pass for Lubin and make Cooper Flagg decide, who am I going after, Lubin or Withers in the corner? Ball fake. Flagg took away the roll, and now he has to close out to his guy, and just too slow of a shot by Withers allows Cooper Flagg to come in and block it. Cooper Flagg is my ACC Defensive Player of the Year for plays like that. Unfortunately, he did not win it, but fantastic defensive effort in this game by Cooper Flagg, contesting and blocking several shots against UNC. Again, this was the type of shots RJ Davis had to shoot because Duke was swarming him all game, especially in the second half.
And that assist total has to go up with a little better ball movement and player movement.
Shot clock's at 3.
Just great defense.
Davis gets it off.
No foul, 7-point game. Grab the rebound.
Tipped by Malawach and gathered in by Malawach.
Elliot Cadeau, and Cadeau was very confident off that catch and shoot. That was.
So Elliot Cadeau just hit a 3 to cut it to 4. You live with that. I was going to put it in here, but it's fine. The way Duke guarded Cadeau looked like it was a zone. It's going to come back later on his miss, but he just hit a 3 to make it a 4-point game.
A huge bucket for North Carolina.
30% three-point shooter on the season, does not often look for that shot. Flagg swings it to Knipple. Cadeau went.
And then Cadeau gives up a flare screen 3. Entry pass to Cooper Flagg. Since you're not going to trap him, he can see the whole floor, take his time. Drawn up flare screen for Knipple. Elliot Cadeau never sees it coming. And why does this dude, every time he hits the floor, he has to be so dramatic? Every time. Just listen to the sound that he makes when he hits the floor.
Percent three-point shooter on the season, does not often look for that shot. Flagg swings it to Knipple. Cadeau went.
Dude's just so dramatic.
Knipple knocks down the shot.
It was a little fade screen for Kaman Malawach on that skip pass to Knipple from Cooper Flagg.
Cadeau swings it. Withers is open. Back to Cadeau. Withers baseline. The scoop, no good, and it's Duke ball.
Fantastic defense. This team guards. They've guarded since day one. Again, Caleb Foster, hell of a sequence for the young buck coming into the second half of this game. I mean, he's guarding Cadeau. Go under this. He's not going to hurt you. Dare him to shoot his second 3. He doesn't want to shoot this. He doesn't want to shoot it. He's trying to get downhill. Foster's in defensive stance, not going to let him get downhill. So he retreats, dribbles, stays with him, gets bumped, but stays with Cadeau. And now they swing it to Withers. Back to Cadeau. Again, Caleb Foster letting him shoot that if he wants it. He's in a defensive stance, not letting him get to the rim and create. Stay on your feet. Cooper Flagg, Withers gets by him, but really good job here by Malawach to make Withers just fade away from the basket. Withers needs to jump through Malawach, but his momentum is he's jumping towards Hubert Davis. Look at his feet. And look where he ends up. He should be going to the rim using his big frame, and that's where he finishes his layup attempt, is going away from the basket. Again, I credit the officiating, not calling those type of fouls and bailing out players that have no chance of going in. The ball has no chance of going in.
Carolina trying to stay within range, down by 7.
Duke really trying to spread out this Carolina defense and drive it.
What a drive by Knippel to make.
And that's just Knippel being the stronger guard and jumping through the defender. Duke's guards, you can tell John Shire and Duke staff emphatically work on jumping off of 2 feet. Cale Foster did it going through Lubin. Knippel's done it all year. Sion James does it all year. But here he goes, rip through, keep your guy on your hip, go off 2 feet, and RJ Davis pays the price trying to contest this.
Defense and drive it.
What a drive by Knippel to make it.
Duke has had an answer for everything in this second.
And also, you saw how Withers went off 1 foot and went the other way, and Duke's guys go off 2 feet and go through the rim. That is key to finishing at this level.
Now.
Knippel now with 39 points in the 2 games against the Tar Heels.
Look how Duke's guarding Elliot Cadeau, daring him to make his second three-pointer. Duke is basically in a 2-3 zone. Cale Foster, this is all strategic. It's not like he lost Cadeau here. Duke's perfectly fine with him being out there and daring him to shoot the shot.
Like a huge possession here for Carolina.
2 guys on RJ Davis because Malawach is on RJ Davis, so Foster was shadowing him.
Over by Davis. Cadeau, what a pass, what a block. Flagg got it. Lubin couldn't.
Unbelievable block by Cooper Flagg. UNC fans want a foul on Knippel for fighting through here, and that's fine. But again, the pace of this game, the flow of the officiating, he gets his hand caught in the cookie jar. Is it a foul? Maybe. But UNC has 2 team fouls with 5:30 to go. Duke has 3. The officials let physicality go the whole second half. It's perfectly fine. I'm perfectly fine with it, not just because of a Duke fan, but I like when college basketball has this type of flow to it.
For Flagg, at times going to be as big a factor in a game defensively as he is offensively.
Oh, he is definitely a two-way player.
Foster, it bounces out to a wide-open Flagg. And the rebound down to Cadeau. Rapid.
Malawach, you got to catch this. Cale Foster played so good off the bench in the second half here. And Malawach knows to dive right here. Dive down. That's what bigs are taught. Guards going downhill, dive down and crash. You should be expecting this pass. So wrap around, it's an easy pass. It hits you right in the chest and hits you in the left arm. Hits him right here, inside his left arm. You got to catch that and flush it. You got to catch that and flush it. Just, you got to expect that pass. Flagg misses that shot. But again, this is a great look by Caleb Foster. This is a good play by Foster. Get downhill, dump it to the big man, and flush that. You just got to catch it.
Bounces out to a wide-open Flagg. And the rebound down to Cadeau. Rapid. Cadeau, soft off the glass, but it won't go. James. What a finish.
Play of the game. Bar none. Play of the damn game. Caleb Foster, put your body on the line on a loose ball. Tap it out to your teammate. Fantastic stuff. And Sion James. Neil Armstrong himself is jealous of these 2 steps. 1 small step for man and 1 giant leap for mankind. Finish at the rim. Duke's up 11. That was pretty much the dagger. But there'll be 1 more sequence that really was the dagger. But that's my play of the game. Caleb Foster's tip out to Sion James gives Duke an 11-point lead.
Cadeau blocked by Foster. And then Brown tried to save it, but threw it out of bounds.
And shoot from the
Caleb Foster, have a game.
corner over Knippel.
So Cadeau and Trimble each have hit big threes in recent possessions for the Tar Heels, but they are still down by 8. Flagg. Bumped. Now Foster with 7 to shoot. Brown will try another one and hit.
Oh, it still makes me just laugh. So earlier in the possession, they're trying to get a screen, a double screen for Cooper Flagg here. Or sorry, just one. Cale Foster got out of there. Trying to set down screen with Tyrese Proctor. And Drake Powell is just wrapping up and holding Cooper Flagg to not come off this down screen. And Shire's like, dude, he is holding my guy. But again, like I said, I wasn't going to complain about officiating because they had their flow in the game. 2 team fouls for UNC with 3:46 to go. Duke had 4. They're not going to call it. Whatever. Play through it. Flagg almost turns it over. Pick it up. He makes me so nervous when he still dribbles like that. And look at Malik Brown being the shooter, just wanting the ball like he's Isaiah Evans. Fakes this cut, comes back out, catches, lets it fly, bang.
Again, 2 threes to be the 5 seed.
R.J. Davis has not scored in this game since the first couple minutes of the second half. Duke's switching guys have been really difficult.
And the size a factor there, and then a run out.
And that is the sequence that made it officially the game. That was the sequence right there. In Jackson not being in, I know he's not a good defender, but you're down 11. You need points more than you need stops. You need points. You've scored 8 points, right? Yeah, you scored 8 points in the last 10 minutes of the game. And in Jackson is the other guy alongside R.J. Davis that can create something off the dribble and shoot contested ones. You don't need Elliot Cadeau slipping ball screens and catching shooting this down 11 with 3:05 left. You need in Jackson. So he misses this. Rebound by Seth Trimble. Trimble is 0 of 6 from 2 in this game, by the way. Gets it blocked. Now Duke's out in transition, and R.J. Davis just slap on the hand and one. 11-point game now with under 3 to go. That was the game right there. That was the dagger.
Rebounds, and 4 of them have been team rebounds. But the ball just went out of bounds, and they kept it.
And Flagg just drove it about 40 feet and slammed it home with 2 hands.
Nobody with vision from.
And that is where we're going to end it, is Cooper Flagg to the rim, hanging on the rim in the Dean Dome. Camera panning to him saying, I do this shit. And then his parents on his effing head. On his effing head. That's how we're going to end it. This was a long film breakdown, a lot of stuff to talk about. If you made it this far, I appreciate you guys so much watching this. Stay tuned for the film breakdowns for the AC tournament and March Madness as it quickly is approaching. And look out for more college basketball content on the channel with March Madness preview coming and a bunch of other things got lined up in the chamber. So I appreciate you guys watching this, and I'll see you guys in the next video.